These are the essential items that I never play golf without, but picking the correct ones can actually help to improve your game. Right, so let's get straight into this. So my number one essential is the humble golf ball. And yes, I know I'm stating the obvious here, but bear with me. So there are different sorts of golf ball that you can play. You've got premium golf balls that are expensive but perform well. You've got mid-range and you've got budget golf balls. I think the biggest key for a person here is to make sure that they're playing the same make and model of golf ball for the entire round. I regularly see golfers who just grab into the bottom of their bag, pull out any old golf ball, but each golf ball has a different feel, has a different spin rate, has a different flight, and basically we want to make sure that we're giving ourselves the most consistent golf ball that we can, and that's by playing the same make and model. Now again, I've talked about premium golf balls here, but I've also done a series where I'm doing some testing on some budget golf balls and ranking them, and I'll just pop that up here as a link so as you can click on it if you want. And also all of those golf balls and a number of the items from this video are all going to be linked down in the description, so make sure you head down there. So the other thing regarding golf balls is how many should you carry? Now, I personally think that carrying 6 golf balls is quite a nice number. I also tend to carry a couple of old ones from previous rounds that I will use to warm up and chip and putt with, so as I don't ruin my brand new golf balls doing that. But I think 6 is a decent number. I think ultimately if you're losing 6 or more golf balls in a round, then a good investment would be to actually go to your PGA professional at your golf course and actually have some lessons that might actually help you to straighten out your golf game. So 6 golf balls should be ample for your round of golf. Now I'm not counting these as a separate essential because ultimately they're linked to the golf ball, but that's a selection of Sharpie pens. Now you really need to be making sure that you're marking your golf ball to be able to identify it. Just identifying it by its name and its number isn't good enough. So find yourself a nice, fun, unique marking and make sure you get your golf ball marked up. So my number 2 essential item is tees. Now golf is an unusual sport in the fact that the first shot on every hole we're actually allowed to put the ball on a tee up in the air, and we need to make sure that we're making the most of that. Now there are varying versions of tees. I think the first one that I'll show you is obviously this tower tee, and these are really normally good for a lot of golfers because you can set the ball at the right height all the time, and that allows you to get consistency of strike. They're now available in plastic and in bamboo, and again I'll just pop some links down to those in the description for you. So another sort of tee is just the standard wooden or bamboo tee as I've got here. Now these tend to be favoured by sometimes the better players because it actually allows us to adjust the height of the tee, and sometimes we'll adjust the height of the tee to create very specific shots that we're trying to hit. So you can also get tees that advertise that they'll help you hit the ball further or sometimes even straighter. Now, if you want me to test some of those tees, then head down into the comments and just type tees. I think we could have a lot of fun testing those out. So my number 3 essential for playing golf is a really good golf shoe. Now ultimately there are several factors that you want from a golf shoe, and to be honest with you, in this day and age the modern golf shoe is so much better than it was a few years ago. The things that you're looking for is first of all comfort. It's important to have a shoe that you feel comfortable in. You're going to be wearing this shoe for 4 or 5 hours, so it's important that you're comfortable in them. The second point I would say is it's probably a good idea if you are planning to play golf all year round, or you live in a climate where you can get rain at any point, to make sure that your shoes are waterproof, because that's going to stop your feet from getting wet and cold, and there's not a lot worse than being out on the golf course with wet, cold feet. So buying a waterproof pair of shoes is a really good idea. So another part of the shoe that I think is really important is actually the sole of the shoe. Now I always tend to wear a shoe that has these more proper spikes in them, but you can get spikeless shoes. I just prefer the grip that comes from these. So you've got to make sure that you've got a really nice stable base, because that's your contact with the ground on the golf course, and it's important that you're not slipping or twisting or having any issues of control there. Now, the only other thing I would say about a shoe is I very much like the shoe to have quite a firm outsole. Now this shoe, as you can see, actually has quite a firm outsole. I can't push it and it helps to resist twisting. Now I find that really important for the golf swing. I see a lot of shoes that are more trainer style with lots of flexibility, and as comfortable as they are and as great looking as they are, I feel that shoes that have a much more solid base are much more suited to the movements of a golf swing. So there's your factors: comfort, waterproofing, grip and support. So my fourth essential for playing golf is a golf glove. Now these tend to come in two different variations. You tend to have a synthetic golf glove. They tend to be a little bit cheaper and they tend to be slightly harder wearing. And you also then tend to have a leather golf glove. Now these tend to give a better feel, normally preferred by better players, but they can wear out a little bit quicker. Now, the only thing I would say is if you are a golfer and you do tend to wear out your glove very quickly, and specifically if you tend to wear it out in this palm area of your hand, then it's probably worth having a word with your professional at your local golf course and seeing if you can get a lesson, because people that wear out gloves very quickly, especially in this area here, tend to have a grip problem that can be quite easily fixed. So my number 5 essential for golf is a ball marker. Now again, golf is very strange in the fact that once we put the ball onto the green, we're actually allowed to mark it, pick it up, clean it and put it back in its exact same place. And again, a bit like teeing the ball up, we want to make sure that we make the most of our ability to do that. Now there's no real specific rules around marking your golf ball, and a lot of people might just use a small coin or something that has sentimental value that is small. But you can also buy specific ball markers. So you tend to have these kind of ones which are a bit more like poker chips. And this was one that I picked up on my visit to St Andrews. You've also got smaller kind of metal ones like this. And this is one that I picked up at Woodall Spa in the UK. Or you can even get specific ones that can actually help you with things like alignment and lining up your putt. And this is one of the triple track ones from Callaway. So there's lots of variations in ball markers, but it's essential that you have one because you will need to mark your ball on the green. My 6th essential item is a good towel or towels. Now you're going to need to keep your equipment clean out on the golf course. I'll pop a video up there about the difference that it can make between having a dirty club face and a clean club face. So having a good quality towel is really important. Now you can get a really big long towel that some people have and they wrap around their clubs in their bag. They keep one half wet and one half dry. Personally, I tend to prefer to carry 2 towels. One that I keep damp, one that I keep dry, and I clip those onto my bag. But it doesn't really matter, but it's important that you have a towel to be able to keep your equipment in good condition while you're out on the golf course. Right, we're halfway through the list. Now, if you're a person that's looking to improve your golf this year, then now's a really great time to subscribe to the channel. I'm providing an awful lot of content and it's all aimed at trying to make you a better golfer. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get back to my next essential. So my number 7 essential follows on from having a good towel, and that's having a good brush. Now there are a couple of different sorts of brush that you can get. Now I personally like this one. It has a metal brush on one side, it has a nylon brush on the other, and it also comes with a bungee cord that allows you to attach it to your bag and obviously pull it out as and when you need it. And also I'll just pop up on the screen here the other sort of one, which is a water bottle one, where you can fill the bottle with water, you can spray it and use the brush, and I'll link both of those down in the description for you as well. Again, it's really essential that you keep your equipment clean, and if you can keep your club face clean out on the golf course, you'll see improvements in your game and improvements in your strike. So my 8th essential for playing golf is a good pitchmark repairer. Now I've got a couple of variations here, but ultimately they're very cheap things to buy. You can grab them in your local pro shop. Sometimes they've got the club's logo on them, which is really great. And it's really important that we repair our pitch marks on the green, so as when it comes to the spring and summer, our greens are in as pristine condition as they possibly can be. They're really easy to purchase, they're really easy to use, and if you can repair your pitch mark and at least one other every time you leave the green, then the courses will thank you for it and they'll be in fantastic condition when you want them to be. So my number 9 essential is a distance measuring device. Our whole sport is based around distance. Every hole has a distance. Every shot you hit, you're trying to hit a distance. So it's important that we know how far we've got to make sure that we can pick the right club. If anybody is actually guessing at how far away they are from the hole, then that's absolutely crazy, and you can simply improve your game by knowing exactly how far you are away from the hole. Now there's a number of easy ways to do this. There are free apps available, and I'll pop up a quick screenshot up here of just one from a company called Hole 19. Now you can subscribe to get more features, but ultimately it's a map and it will show you the hole, and you can actually put the distances on there so you know how far it is to the greens or to the bunkers. If you want to then go one step further than that, then there are systems like Arcos and ShotScope and Game Golf, and not only will these provide maps and distances, but they'll also be able to track your golf game. So not only will you know how far you've got to actually hit the shot, but it will also be keeping a record of how far you actually hit each club, and that will allow you to match the distance that you've got left with the club that you need to actually play the shot. And that's again just another huge benefit. Now the third way of doing it is with what I've got in my hand here, which is a laser rangefinder. Now basically these, you point at the flag, you press the button, and it will give you a distance to that. Now these are normally exceptionally accurate and give you precise numbers, but basically having anything that allows you to measure a distance is essential for playing golf, and if you don't have one, just by doing that should improve your game. So my number 10 essential for taking out on the golf course is suntan cream. Now ultimately we all know how dangerous the sun can be, and golfers are outside for a long period of time, so please do make sure that you put suntan cream on before you go out for your round, and make sure you've got a little tube or spray in your bag so as you can top up as needed while you're out on the course. So number 11 on my essentials list is food and drink. Now this is an area that I think gets overlooked by a lot of amateur golfers, but it's really important because golf can be a game of concentration, and it's virtually impossible to concentrate if you're hungry or dehydrated. Now I'm certainly no nutritionist, but I can tell you that sugary drinks and chocolate bars just aren't the way to go out on the golf course. So first off, and most importantly, make sure you have water out on the golf course with you. Now you can also take something like an isotonic sports drink if you want, but you want to balance that with just making sure that you drink plenty of water. Now regarding food, things like bananas are exceptionally good out on the golf course, although obviously they can easily get bruised, but things like fruits and nuts are also really good to take out on the golf course. If you want to take some sort of sandwich out on the golf course, then there's nothing wrong with something like a PB&J. So for the people in the UK, that's a peanut butter and jam sandwich. It's a decent thing to take out on the golf course just to keep yourself fueled throughout your round of golf. Now personally, I like to make my own flapjacks. Now oats are a great source of complex carbohydrates that steadily release throughout your round of golf, and because I make them myself, I know exactly what goes into them, and I like to add a little bit of dried fruit in there as well, again just to help to keep my energy levels up. Now if you are going to buy flapjacks from a shop or from the golf course, that's absolutely fine, but I would probably suggest that you avoid the ones with either chocolate or very sugary coatings. And my final essential item that you need to take out on the golf course is a pencil, or two. Golf's a game of scoring, and even in social rounds we quite often will want to keep a score, and certainly if you're playing competitive golf you're going to have to keep a score and sign for that score. So always make sure that you have at least one pencil, and additionally you could put a small pencil sharpener in your bag so you never get caught out. Right, so that's my list. If there's anything essential that you carry that I forgot, then make sure you pop that down in the comments for us. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out this video that I think you'll probably enjoy. I'm Graham, and I'll catch you on the course soon.